What up, bitches? This is part of my resolutions. I've been working on Miguel is my brother, but I've been working on a music video for him. The first music video I'm going to do for his album is gonna be for one of his songs that's called París. And basically, it's always been the idea of a pickup truck in the middle of a park or a grassy area or just a plain. In my mind, that was like a pretty simple idea. Turns out, looking for an old Ford Ranger is harder than I expected. It was harder than I expected to film at night in a public area. I didn't want it to be in a parking lot because that seems like too
ghetto.
To get somewhat of privacy, we would have to drive out to Lancaster or Palmdale or at least an hour outside. How would I get the truck there, especially if it's manual? All the parks nearby are well looked after, and also it's just scary to film at night, especially if coyotes are gonna be out, and especially if I want the actress or my brother to be comfortable. So yeah, I involved one of my friends with this project, and he basically told me, yo, ditch the idea. This friend was a friend that I made at Syracuse, my old university, college. I told him, hey, I would be happy to give up the directing role and pass it on to you. And he said, yeah, gimme. So yeah, I am staying on as DP. My friend Charlie is gonna be the director. We decided to have a meeting I think a week and a half ago. Basically solidifying a new storyboard and creating a new storyboard to begin with. And we came up with what you're about to see right now. Here it is. This is a storyboard. Oh shit, I should record this. This is a storyboard. I use Milanote. I love Milanote. I usually don't pay for stuff. Right now, I have the Milanote free trial. I did decide to pay for Shot Deck. The way I organized my storyboard is that I have the shots in the middle right here. In the shot descriptions right here, I basically decided to label each still with a brief description. Right under that, I attached the lyrics that I thought would fit with each shot in my mind. This arrow right here, it's solid. And that's just basically signifying to me that this shot goes to this shot. It's the same shot, but in this case, it just zooms in. And then these dashed arrows are supposed to signify a match cut of some sort, or that these shots are related in some way, but they're not the same shot. I've also labeled the stills with moon or sun emojis to signify the time of day. On top of some stills, I've attached a text with the locations. And I've also color coded the locations. The only emoji I attached to text is this little megaphone thing. That's just to signify that in my mind I have him singing. Oh, and these dash lines, since they're attached to text, it's just to remind me in post that I would like to cut from this shot with these lyrics, back to this shot with these lyrics, to this shot with these lyrics, back to this shot, yeah. On the left side, aside from this is just general information for me. I have the lyrics as a whole. These shots right here represent the intro of the song. These shots right here represent the first chorus and the first verse, and then yeah, etc. And then on the right hand side, I just decided to list the props that are in the shots represented in the middle. Yeah, that's pretty much a long intro. Opening scene, insert of an Eiffel Tower musical box that Mykael has. As soon as he winds it and lets it go, the song plays as if it's diegetic to the musical box. At the point that it turns into non-diegetic, we're at this shot right here. An overhead shot of Mykael on his bed reminiscing of the times he had with this girl. This lens slowly zooms into his face, into his eyes, until we're transported into an image of him on the bleachers looking at the girl playing tennis. The whole premise of this video is that Mykael and this girl were dating. This girl has a fascination with France and Paris and all things French. This music video is kind of a glimpse into how Mykael's character tried to appeal to that French fascination of hers, and how she also just introduced him to all of that and made his life better. As you'll see, now that they're separated, they kind of missed that fun aspect of their relationship, whatever relationship that was. We're transported into him at the bleachers. It's a close-up of his eyes, but this time we're zooming out of his eyes, and we find that he's surrounded by a couple of people. They look right and left, because that's how tennis works. The tennis ball goes from the right of the court to the left of the court. Mykael's character is fixated on one direction. The crowd is paying attention to the tennis match. Mykael's character is fixated on her. But yeah, we zoom out from his eyes. This is daytime, of course. And then we cut to a scene of the girl playing tennis. But to build a little bit of anticipation, the camera would first focus on her legs, and it would slowly tilt up, revealing her face. I imagine this kind of flipped, like she would be on the right side instead of the left side of the frame. This whole scene would of course take place in the past. We then go back to Mykael's bedroom in the present. I put this thing here. So I had seen this on TikTok. Mykael sent me this, and I wanted to kind of do a similar thing with these couple of shots right here. We see Mykael like just doing, me and Charlie called it sad boy stuff. I imagine all of these shots composed like this Mario shot. We would begin with Mykael just throwing a ball. I think maybe tennis ball makes sense because she plays tennis. The camera goes like this. Mykael had this idea of playing Wii Sports, probably like Wii Tennis. And then next scene is Mykael like drinking wine or something. Mykael's wearing a sock on his hand, and we're like, why is he wearing a sock? Well, you'll find out with the next scene, which takes place in the same bedroom, but this time it's daytime, and it takes place in the past when this girl and Mykael were together. This shot, I imagine her on his bed working on something. It's out of frame, so the camera doesn't know. We have another shot of Mykael just looking over her shoulder. She finally comes up to Mykael like face to face. It's a two shot of the couple. I imagine Mykael leaning over to kiss her. A sock puppet comes into frame, and it looks like Mykael in the clothing that it's wearing. She playfully just kisses him with the sock puppet. This is like a cute, like silly moment, so they kind of both laugh, like 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 it's just it's me. I imagine her going out of frame, but it just stays with Mykael for his reaction shot, and we have another shot of her for her reaction shot. She's smiling at the camera because it's cute, and then it's just like a flirtatious, like, yeah. We get transported into a later time that same day where it's nighttime and they're in the terrace of some sort, a rooftop. It's a match cut with a close-up of her eyes, slowly zooming out. We see that Mykael is leaning on her shoulder. Switch the Oppenheimer character with the girl and the girl with Mykael. We see the movie projector rays through them, creating this silhouette of the couple. And then we have a reverse shot again of the rays going over the couple, hitting the screen. And we don't know what the movie is until the next scene. Charlie had this great idea of making this part of the music video unrealistic. Gotta be honest, I don't have a solid idea of how to start this film off. Me and Charlie talked about possibly making Mykael the puppet. So yeah, I have this two shot of the couple. In my mind, as of now, I have Mykael like pointing at a map from the US to France, saying, oh, let's travel together. The next shot is them on a Vespa. Realistically, what we would have to do is like get a bike. So yeah, like just showing them having a good time in what is supposed to be France. So then from the Vespa, we go to like Mykael serenading this girl in front of a fountain. It turns into this shot. I imagine her being in a dress and Mykael being in a suit, and they're getting close, like a cheesy movie, like they're getting closer like this. While this is happening, the camera is zooming in on her. Again, switch the girl and the guy. The camera is zooming in tight on the girl. They're getting closer until she's leaning over for a kiss. But then surprise, she's kissed by the sock puppet. And then she's like kind of confused, like what? Like why is the sock puppet here and not him? The realistic reminder that he's not there with her is hitting her. This part would be a callback to the little joke she played on him. The camera follows her. And then the music video transitions to VHS footage. I know VHS footage, it's like a kind of a cop-out. I thought it would be cute for the VHS footage to be footage of them making that unrealistic film. Them having fun with the props and the costuming. Maybe a shot of them slowly moving away as if they had just kissed. A realization that the audience has, like, oh, like that footage was filmed, and that's the realistic, that's what should have been in the film. This film is essentially an extension of this girl reminiscing the good times together. And then we transition to our first present shot of the girl in her own bedroom. It's basically the same overhead shot that we had with Mykael in his bedroom. Camera slowly zooming out from her eyes. We see that this girl is laying down with the makeshift sock puppet that she made of Mykael. This zoom out cross dissolves into a match cut of Mykael doing the same thing with his sock puppet of her. Although we don't see him make a sock puppet, like I was thinking like during this, when he's wearing the sock, he probably tries to add like something that represents her on the sock. And the audience, I feel like, would infer that, oh, she either moved away to France or moved back to France. An insert of the musical box slowly being zoomed into, still playing, and it slowly cross dissolves into a final shot of what this was, of them looking at the Eiffel Tower, leaning over to each other. So yeah, that's the storyboard for París by Mykael. Hope this video is good. Hope you guys like this. Peace.